Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, guys, to the Flip the Script with Vic podcast. It's your host, Victoria Nielsen. As always, I'm so excited for today's guest. I get to shout out and pump up the most amazing women. And today I have Dr. Shola Ezeokoli here. We met earlier this year giving TEDx talks together in Key West, and her presence was so grounded. And she had such a strong message to share about the strategic no. And I just knew you guys had to hear from her today. So thank you so much for being here, Dr. Shola.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. It was wonderful to meet you, and I think we just clicked right away, and it was really nice to meet you. So yes, I'm excited to get into it.
So tell me more about your background. You are obviously a doctor. You have, part of your talk, you speak of the many, many, many hats that you have worn over the years that you have kind of peeled back from. So I guess what are the current hats that you are wearing that feel most like you?
Oh, I'm still wearing all of them. Doctor, wife, mom, author, speaker, coach, consultant, and probably soon to be health policy maker, but we'll save that for the future.
Woo!
It's probably soon to be. So yeah, I'm still wearing all the hats. I'm still
So
wearing all the hats.
how do you do it then? Because
Uh-huh.
we're told we can have it all, we can do it
Mhm.
all the things. Do you agree?
So you can have it all, but you can't do it all. And you may not be able to have it all at the same time.
Yes, that's key because we want it all and we want it all right now.
Yes, right now. Like I want $10 billion. Right. I
Wouldn't
want it
that be
right now.
nice? But in your story, I feel like, I think what you found when you were trying to hold it all and have it all and do it all,
Mm-hmm.
that it wasn't
That
feeling so good.
it wasn't feeling so good and things started to fall apart. So just a bit, one of the many stories, like from my background, I'm gonna say, when I was in residency, and this was not part of the story I shared at TEDx, but when I was in residency as a medical resident, in the US, when you go to medical school, you go into, I would say, what we would call postgraduate, which is called residency, and then you graduate as an attending physician. So I had come from, now my path wasn't that linear. I went to medical school, then I went to England, I worked for a bit, and then I came here to do this residency. The hours were crazy. I just had a little baby. I didn't have reliable childcare, and I burnt out, like flat burnt out. I got to the point where I didn't want to live anymore. I didn't want to, I would be driving to work praying that I would have an accident so that I wouldn't be the one to do the thing to myself.
Yeah.
Um, I Going back to that memory still a little bit, but I think that was the time that I started to realize that you can't, you know, you can't try to hold so many things, and to admit to myself that I was actually crumbling and I needed support. I didn't need another time management book. I didn't need another person telling me, oh, we all have the same 24 hours. When 16 hours of mine was spent in the hospital away from my baby. And when I come home, I'm, taking care of the baby. So at that point, I think that was what sort of started driving me along this path of, you know, when you come out of this, you can't just be the doctor that writes prescriptions. You have to be able to help people in other ways that help enhance their whole lives. And along the way, it takes a while for you to heal and, put all the pieces together. And like I shared in my TED talk, I did get to a point, which was another point where I was out of residency and I was just excited to embrace my calling. So I was writing, I was doing things, I was volunteering, I was this committee, that committee, going out, meeting people, doing everything. And then one fine day, again, I think that going back, I realized that if you don't consciously keep yourself I would say, out of that cycle, you'll drift back into it very quickly.
Yeah. And
Because
it's not your fault. It's what we've been
no,
taught. It's what we've been
yes,
taught. It's what we've glorified. It's what we say success looks like.
Yes.
that you have to be working nonstop 24 hours a day when women don't work on a 24-hour cycle. We work on a
No.
28-day cycle. Like
Yes.
we're totally different.
Exactly. Exactly. Some of the things I'm coming to embrace this late in life, like we don't, like you said, work on this 24 hours, this linear cycle where, okay, night, morning. There are sometimes where 3 days you're just like, oh, I'm tired. And then the next 4 days you're working like boom, boom, boom. Oh, wow, I'm getting a lot done. And you kind of have to learn to flow with those rhythms. But back to a bit of what I'm going to sprinkle in what I talked about at TED, which is the strategic no. That takes me back to your first question. How do you do all these things? I say no to a lot of things. I say
Good
no.
for you.
I say no to more things than I say yes to. Yeah.
Your energy is valuable and your time is your energy. Did you find that the more that you started to value yourself and your own worth, that it was easier to say no to the things that weren't aligned? Or what was that change like when you started to say no to things that you used to say yes to?
Okay. So you know, at first some people didn't like it. You know, they say that the people who are angry when you have boundaries are the people that benefited from you having none.
Yes.
You know, so some of those individuals were upset with me, but it's like, I can't do this. So before it would be, Shola, do this. And I'd be like, yeah, sure. After first I started saying, you have to ask me. It's not a given that I'm going to do it. Then it was, will you do this? And then I let me think about it. And they would be like, no, I won't be able to take this up at this time. And, even though they were not happy with me and, kind of led to a few schisms in some of those relationships. But I realized that going back to what you said, I started to value my own time. Like my time is important for the things I want to do. So instead of with this default of, oh, what will people say if I say no? Or how can I have to help everyone else.
Yeah.
You don't.
This is your permission slip, ladies. You don't.
Don't. I have to help everybody. You do not have to help everybody. You get to choose your battles, choose who you help, choose what you want to invest in. And I tell people this, don't let people people don't have a right to get mad at you for picking struggles that they don't pick.
Mm. Say that again for people. Because that's powerful. It's true.
People don't have a right to get mad at you for picking or not picking struggles that they don't pick, and vice versa, or not picking the struggles they pick.
Doesn't make you wrong. Doesn't make you
Doesn't make
bad.
exactly. It just means that we've picked different struggles. And sometimes, the phrase pick a struggle. Sometimes it is picking a struggle. There was a struggle I didn't want to pick. Once I got to a point in residency where I faced squarely the fact that I cannot do residency and do childcare. It's impossible. Oh, my husband was in residency too. Mm-hmm. Can't do it. So we hired a full-time nanny. Now, as you can imagine, that was not cheap.
No.
But again, so people would look at me, oh, must be nice. You have a nanny. Paying my salary to this woman so that I could get through, my program and then get a better job, get better opportunities and all that. I was like, here, oh, this is my salary. Ding, 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 ding. That was the struggle I picked, not to buy so many times. I didn't buy new clothes, didn't buy a new car for years, But I was happy with the struggle I picked, which was to have full-time support for my kid, and had another kid later on. And all throughout the years, I heard it. Wow, you have a nanny. You must have a lot of money. Or, oh, where's your daughter? I'm like, oh, she's at home with the nanny. Lucky you. It's not luck. You can go and get a nanny too.
Isn't it wild? I call it the sister wounds between women, when we can't see another woman and allow her to have more and to realize that that doesn't make us less than, that doesn't dim our light, that actually does nothing but give me permission to do what the hell I want to do too.
Exactly. It's funny. And I would see people who, because they didn't weren't shelling out all this money for childcare, they had, I would say, seemingly what, looking at them, oh wow, they have a great lifestyle, very nice. I mean, I'm the kind of person, hey, you have this great lifestyle, great for you. I'm spending my money on all the things I need to spend my money, and I'm fine with it. But those same people would be the ones telling me that, oh, I was lucky to have a nap.
It's like pot calling the kettle black here. Like maybe look at your own situation.
You have a
It,
good life, you just don't want a nanny, and that's fine.
right. And it's okay. Did you find though, I guess working in the medical industry, and I have no idea to be honest, like uh do you find that there is that looking down on other women doctors because there are less of you than there are men doctors, or am I making an unfair assumption?
Well, so you mean from men to women?
No, just
Or
like the cattiness between women that I feel like happens in certain environments. I feel like a medical environment, something that's that competitive and that fierce, is going to naturally pit women against each other because there's only so many spots. And then of that, right, there's only so many females that are going to get those spots. And so I'm just wondering as to your experience in that and if that's true or if I'm just making an assumption of the environment.
okay. So I personally, again, I can only speak to my own experience,
Of
right?
course.
I personally have found the most wonderful, the most supportive women in medicine, mentors, doctors, people who, it was because of women physicians that I didn't leave medicine entirely.
Wow.
Yes. It was because of women physicians that I didn't drive my car into a pole. It was because of them, you know. And that's not to say, I mean, my husband is supportive and all that, but
Oh, of
there's a
course.
support you get from there's a support you get from women who are like, I
Yes.
get it, I see you, don't worry, I'm here for you, you know. And these women just, I can't even explain. Look, Dr. Matthew, wherever you are, I will forever be grateful to you. Dr. Ina Mahapatra, if you ever hear this, I will forever be grateful to you. Those were two, if not for those two women, I'm not sure I would be able to call myself a practicing physician because they were like, no, it's okay. Just keep going. Just come back one more day. I understand. It's okay. And, I've got a feeling that they probably told a bunch of other doctors to watch out for me because people would walk up to me and be like, hey, how you doing? Are you okay? It's my number. If you want to talk about anything, it doesn't have to be patient related. Just call me. Okay. So no, for me, I find that environment, and that's not to say that. I mean, I have people who have experienced, catty bosses in and out of medicine and things like that. But I think these women physicians were so phenomenal in helping me just stand strong and get through it and keep going.
I love that. That actually warms my heart to hear because I was really, I don't know, afraid that it was the opposite. And I do think it's women that are going to change our communities and change the face of medicine and change the way that we do things in society when we
Yep.
continue to share that it needs to be done differently, you
Yes.
know? Is there anything in your world right now that is sticking out to you that is something that is calling for change or needing more of a feminine touch, if you will?
Everything.
Touche. Touche.
Is there anything that doesn't? I mean, studies have shown that women are better leaders just because of the way we think. And some of it too is the societal conditioning. We're kind of, part of it is conditioning to bring people together and see everyone's point of view and be that sort of collaborative, I think, way of being is very good, especially in leadership of today, where the sort of, I would say, dictatorial model is going out of style and the more collaborative model is coming in.
Yeah.
Case in point, one of the places I work with, where I do coverage for them, like when they need a doctor, like at sort of last minute, they don't call, they call, we call each other colleagues, instead of staff. So you see, it's like, so the world is moving in that general direction. And I think that people would do well to take the lead, take the cue from women and how we lead and copy that and do it. So I guess the short answer to your question is leadership.
Leadership. But
That's
I see that so much too in the mystery school that I've started. It's a self-leadership school for women. We want to lead, and some of us don't know how. We haven't had that crone example, right? We haven't had that elder to really share how to be in the world with us. And I feel like we are who our ancestors have been waiting for. When you hear something like that, does that, I don't know, put pressure on you, or does that make you excited to think that like you're breaking generational curses and ushering in a new way? Because even in astrology right now, you were talking about the like, the dictatorship versus communal. The astrology is supporting that. So we used to be in the Piscean age of leadership, and Pisces is very ego driven, very I am the guru, I know best, and you will do as I say. Whereas Aquarius, which we are now in the age of Aquarius, is collaborative and is community, and doesn't say I'm above you. It says I do this with you and we do this together. So I love that, as above, so below. I always find that the astrology matches what's happening. So I love to hear that.
Oh, that's interesting. Like I know little to nothing about astrology. The only thing I know is that people ask me, "What's your star sign?" and I say Aries. I could even be wrong about that.
You're like, I think that's right. I could see you as an Aries, though. You have fire. Aries are very fiery.
So that's about all I know. But well, look at that. Look at that. So, I think that sorry, what was your question? I know you
I don't even know, but I just love that
yeah.
we're kind of riffing and chatting because
Yes.
to me the collective, you were talking about the collective moving to being more collaborative,
Yes.
but
And
again I
you
do
asked it, it
think
made me excited.
because I do think the
Aha.
microcosm is so as the macrocosm, that these big changes are happening because of the little changes that we're making in our communities
Oh,
and in our
yes.
environments.
Yes, exactly. So yes, I am excited because, I have two daughters. So I do want to leave, as they say, a better world for them. And I want to leave them to more enlightened for the worlds that they are living in. And, my daughters they're older. Well, no, they're teenagers, 18 and 16. And, having these types of conversations with them and how they can step up in their own calling. And it doesn't have to be the linear, go to school, get a job, and everything will be all right. That was how I was raised, with a,
What a lie we were sold. What a lie.
exactly, there's more to life than go to school, get a job, and I kind of, well, just, I don't know if they told us everything will be all right. You just go to school, get out, get a job so you can eat or whatever.
I know
Uh,
it was like it was like, and you live happily ever after. That's it.
yeah, that's it. Like whatever, But I was raised by boomer and some silent generation. Um, you know, for their time, I guess they were okay, but we learn from each generation. We learn what worked and what didn't work, and then we take what we've learned from them and we do the best we can. So I'm excited.
I love that. And if you were to share anything with that next generation, or even with any woman listening who just needs a little pep talk today, what would Dr. Shola tell her?
Say no to more things. I promise you, the world will not fall on your head. The sky will not fall down. The people who don't the people who don't like your no just want your compliance. They don't want a real relationship with
And that can be a hard pill to swallow, but
you. Yeah. But it's the conditioning. So it takes time to break out of those things and say no to more things. Every single one of us, even me, could stand to say no to more things.
mhm. And
And
you
the
have every
world will
right
be fine.
to.
And you have every right to. This is your permission. Say no.
I love it. Thank you so much for being here with me, Dr. Shola. If you
Yo.
liked this conversation, please like, rate, subscribe, review, share it with other women that need to hear the power of the strategic no.
Yes.
Please listen in every single Tuesday. I have new women from all over the world that are just having real conversations and sharing from the heart. So thank you, Dr. Shola, for joining us today. Where can folks find you if they want to get in touch or learn more?
Oh, I have a strategic no worksheet on sholaezeokoli.com. So that's my first name, last name.com. I guess that will be shared with everyone. And there's a strategic no worksheet. So you can just fill that out. And it's basically a pact with yourself to say, okay, what am I going to say no to this week? And you can, fill it out. And a lot of times you know, we can experience growth on our own. So sometimes by just writing things down and looking at them and saying, you know what, I can do that. And then go ahead and do it.
Yes, go do it, ladies. Thank you for being here. Be good to one another. I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Bye.